Hey, True Believers, Englentine here with a History of Comics video. So what I'm doing here is it's a repost of a video I did 2 years ago where people were asking about America #3 and why Storm was designed with a Mohawk. And I was like, wait a second, I know. It was real. It happened. I'm not kidding. So I figure, you know what? Let's share the story of how Storm got the Mohawk and why this haircut was important, definitely at the time. And I rewatched it and was like, okay, this holds up. I think I want to share it now and maybe get the History of Comics videos re-sparked. I think that would be a lot of fun. So if you guys do like this video, please, by all means, put down in the comment section that you would like to see more of this and what objects and or characters you would like to see the history of. Otherwise, please forgive the microphone. It's a different microphone, and the host, that's 2 years ago. I wasn't as confident behind the mic as I am right now. So with all that said, kick back, relax, enjoy. It starts in X-Men 172. And this is where Wolverine is going to get married to Mariko, and the team, the X-Men, are invited to Japan. And at first, of course, there's a little start off. You meet, it's just a hello, how you doing, meeting the dragon for Wolverine, and worst off, meeting Rogue and the fact that she's in the X-Men. This doesn't sit well with Logan, but he understands he wasn't exactly welcome when he was first in the X-Men also. Then we cut to the Silver Samurai. He's listening in, and Yuriko sees that she wants to protect Wolverine, so she starts a fight with him. Nightcrawler and Wolverine go out to help, and Wolverine's knocked off the building. Yuriko tries to escape, but she loses her footing and is rescued by Storm. And this is the first time we see that Storm is beginning to change from the person she's always been. She has always been kind of the big sister, motherly figure of the X-Men ever since Giant Size X-Men #1. Right here, Viper is kidnapping Mariko. Wolverine and Storm talk a little bit, and Wolverine makes a mention. He says, "You've changed." Now, she says, "So have you," and it's a dichotomy because he is getting softer and she's getting harder. And then we find out the tea that they're drinking is poisoned. The Lady Mariko has been kidnapped at this point. This is a little side story with Cyclops that has nothing to do with it right now. And that's where they stand. Silver Samurai and Viper have Lady Mariko, and Yuriko has followed the limousine that kidnapped, and she engages in a battle with Silver Samurai again. Viper's trying to make her escape, and she's blown back violently, and you find out that Storm had joined Yuriko in the efforts to rescue the Lady Mariko. I know the Japanese names can be confusing. So Storm tries to electrocute the Silver Samurai. However, too much power went out, so she withdraws the lightning back into her body. It caused an explosion, and Yuriko jumps with her off of a building into the water, and these two are now a team. Vipers survived, so did Silver Samurai, so they make their escape as well. And at the end of the book, basically, Wolverine says, "I'm going to go get my fiancée," and Rogue says she wants to come with, and Wolverine says, "You can, but you better listen to every word I say." X-Men 173 starts off with an iconic cover. It's one of my favorite of the Uncanny X-Men. And the story starts off with Rogue and Wolverine in a bar, roughing up the locals, and basically doing the whole, "If you don't tell me who I'm looking for, I'm going to kill you, even though you'll get killed by the person if you do tell me where they are" thing. So through the intimidation, they get a name called Nabatone. Rogue says, "Hey, so what's next?" And he goes, "Things are going to get nasty." And they're off. The comic cuts to Yuriko and Storm together, and basically Storm's now a little bit powerless because of she absorbed from the last issue, and they find themselves caught in an alley with a whole bunch of the bad guys. Back to Wolverine and Rogue, where they're at Nobatone's house, and as they're entering, a drone fires a blast. And Wolverine detects this and jumps on Rogue and saves her. She wants to say thank you, but she leans down to kiss him, and Wolverine sticks his claws up to her throat because, of course, she would end up absorbing his powers. She says she meant no harm. Wolverine says that's why you're still alive, and they move on to find Nobatone. And so they find Novatome, but Wolverine's senses tell him that he's been dead for about a week and that this is more than likely a distraction so Viper can get to the X-Men at the hospital. Back with Storm and Yuriko, they finished off the bad guys in the alley, and we see that Storm is really embracing this new wild side she's seeing and she's experiencing with Yuriko. Cut to the hospital that the X-Men and Mariko are staying at, and yes, Viper is trying to kill them. Of course, Rogue comes out and she stops him. The ninja are occupied with Rogue, and Viper takes this as a distraction so she can go find Mariko. Mariko's a real target. I keep saying Mariko in the X-Men, but it's really Mariko, because she's next in line for head of the family, and if they get rid of Mariko, Silver Samurai becomes head of the family. Silver Samurai, however, is preoccupied with Wolverine. And I love this fight between Wolverine and the Silver Samurai. One of the things I like about this era is it is before they made Wolverine immortal. He could still be hurt, and in some ways they said that he could still be killed. And of course writers just put that out the window nowadays. Wolverine gets the upper hand and he's about to kill Silver Samurai, and Mariko tells him to stop because they've had enough bloodshed. Viper comes along, he threatens Mariko, and before she can shoot, Rogue flies out, gets in the way of the ray gun, pushing Mariko and Wolverine to safety. This goes to show Wolverine that Rogue can be trusted and Mariko is safe and all is good with the world. We then see Mariko in her ancestral garden, and she's paying respects and wondering what she's going to do about the clan Yashada. And while she's doing that, somebody calls out her name and she gets a little headache and walks away. And thus begins the issues wrap up as the family of Scott Summers, Polaris, Alex Summers, the father, comes to join the wedding. When Madeline Pryor shows up, Lilandra thinks that she's the return of Jean Grey, the Dark Phoenix, and she tries to attack, but everybody's like, hold on, that's not her. So they stop her, and they notice that Storm is descending. Of course, they all look in awe because we have the big reveal of Storm's new look. Kitty Pryde takes it pretty bad. She looks at her, says, how could you, runs away. Charles and Lilandra even talk about it. And, yeah, it does cause quite a stir within the X-Men. Kitty Pryde hands Madeline Pryor Lockheed the Dragon, and Madeline Pryor wonders what kind of group she got herself involved in. And then Mariko comes up and she calls off the wedding, saying that Wolverine is not worthy. As she walks away, we see that it's actually Jason Wingard, otherwise known as Mastermind, who is behind this and who has affected Mariko's mind to make her not want to marry Wolverine any longer. And that's the storyline that introduced us to the famous Storm Mohawk version. And it really did cause quite a stir. Not just within the X-Men books, but within fandom itself. I remember hearing a lot of conversations about, oh my god, I can't believe they did that. And a lot of people hated it. I mean, we talk about changes now and how we hated them then, but we hated it then too. It took some getting used to say the least, because this is Storm when she first appeared, obviously, in Giant Size X-Men #1. And part of her appeal and part of her look was the long flowing white hair. And it worked aesthetically. I mean, you know, Storm was drawn as a very beautiful woman, and part of the beauty of it was the long hair. You can't deny that part. And it also served a function, because in her earliest appearances, she was naked a lot, and the hair served to cover up all the naughty bits. And let me tell you something. When you're looking for panels to make this point, don't Google nude Storm, because you cannot unsee that stuff. Unless you're into it and then Google away, but yeah. I was looking for a panel of the comic and I found a lot more. The Mohawk was also the first time we saw an outward representation of Storm's innermost feelings. When she feels wild, she gets her hair cut in a Mohawk. When she is the mother goddess, the best friend to Jean Grey that comforts her. And when she was playing mother and big sister to Kitty Pryde, and she did that a lot. She was very much a big sister type to Kitty Pryde. And that's when she had her softer features and her longer hair. But it also tells us why Kitty Pryde had such a strong reaction when Storm first revealed her new look. I mean, Kitty Pryde to her, this was almost Storm turning her back on being a friend and being the big sister that Kitty Pryde needed. In a scene from the Uncanny X-Men number 180, Storm confronts Kitty Pryde about her feelings and about why she actually went through with the change. And what she says is that her time as an X-Men has shown her things that has made her question her existence and how she sees the world. She was hailed as a goddess in Africa. Is she goddess or is she mutant? Now she's a leader, and she realizes that she can make decisions that will send her friends off to harm's way and maybe even death. And she could actually defend her friends or their mission by being as ruthless as Wolverine. And with all these kind of changes, she cannot be the mother figure anymore. And she cannot be the goddess figure anymore. So she cuts off the mane of hair that she felt represented that type of person. Just to confirm the hair is her identity theory, here Storm is during the Extinction Agenda. She's been mind controlled, therefore she lost her identity, thus she also lost her hair. And the hair theory carries over to the movies. In the first film, she's more of a professor. It's got an emphasis on the school more than any of the other films. So Storm has the longer hair like in the comics where it's iconic. And it does look good with the white eyes, I have to say that. However, come the second film, in the action scenes, you can even see her hair is shorter because it's still based on being a teacher. The third one is all about fighting. It's more action, so her hair gets even shorter because she's less of a teacher and she's more of a warrior. Then that brings us to Age of Apocalypse, where basically Storm's entire purpose is to fight and then to die. So her haircut is basically a butch cut. I mean, it's that short. And finally, while Age of Apocalypse takes her back to her African origins, it gives her the personality that she had in the adventures in Japan, so she has the Mohawk, or at least in this case, a faux hawk of some sorts. So yeah, the America comic sucks in so many different ways, I have to go panel to panel to explain how. But the one thing they didn't do is design Storm this way. It actually happened. But here you go, guys, there was a reason. And the reason that she's in the comic is to guide America. So it would have been more proper for her to use the long-haired Storm. But because she wants to, and I'm guessing this is all speculation, I am guessing that Gabrielle decided that she wanted to use Mohawk Storm to fight against the heteronormalcy of beauty, rather than actually think of Storm the character and figure out which Storm to use. So there you go, guys. I've got to admit, before I posted this, I went through and I cut out a lot of ands, ums, and ahs. So, yeah. Anyway, what did you think of the video? What do you think of the points that were made? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you would like to see more history of, let me know what you would like to see the history of. Don't forget to click like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because that is what YouTube cares about, if they care at all. And go on over to Ko-Fi or to Patreon, drop a dollar in the till, and help me keep making videos for you. Thank everybody who's already done that. To everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.